So I'm curious to learn about your journey, from coping with an eating disorder for nearly 15 years, and today having an empowering association with body image. I would love to hear your views about that.
Yeah, so I unfortunately like so many women and men, I had a experience when I was a child that really triggered my lack of confidence around my body. And it was like such a small moment. I was at a birthday party when I was like sixth grade, and I went to go get like a third slice of pizza, and the woman whose son's birthday it was patted me on the stomach and told me I had enough. And it is something I guarantee, she was not malicious about it. And I guarantee it was something that she has never thought about again after that moment. But it impacted me in such a way that, it changed my entire life course. And from that moment, I was very attuned to how people were viewing my body. It started not so much of like how I view it, it was a true fear how other people were seeing me. And that's when I started like making up, these scenarios in my head of like, I need to lose weight. I can only have this for lunch. And it's mind boggling for a child to be able to come to those conclusions and create those actions to kind of live by, and like this weird set of what I felt was moral discipline. I created this code of conduct. And additionally, I think being so young, struggling with this, no one really knew how to react to it. I was very secretive about it. And I think my family, even though they're incredibly loving, they just didn't know how to handle it. So we just kind of carried on life as usual. And I got away with it, so I carried these tendencies and this quote unquote code of conduct that I created for myself all through high school, through my 20s and so on. Even today, I still kind of struggle with those kinds of thoughts. But when I tried to get out of this like vicious cycle so many times. There would be moments where I'm like, okay, this is the last time I'm going to be acting like this. And I would just return back to it. And it wasn't until when I was 28 that it really, something clicked where it's like, I don't want this to control my life anymore. This was like the biggest part of my life for so long. And I built relationships around it, friends and lovers. Every social situation was built around it. The way I operated at work was built around it. It was like the center of my universe. And I kind of found the idea of like journaling and that kind of stuff not really something that resonated with me. So that's when I started doodling. I started doodling what I wanted my body to look like, because on the paper, I could change the way my hips looked. I could change that, I didn't have broad shoulders. And somehow it kind of gave me this weird empowerment of like, I was kind of shifting the way that I viewed myself on paper. And then slowly but surely, I started not changing my hips when I drew myself. I started not changing my shoulders and seeing it lay out, being like, wow, that's actually a pretty good looking person. And when I kind of discovered that, I was like, well, damn, like, I feel like other people should see how beautiful they are on paper, because it's so much different than looking in the mirror. Like you kind of see this beauty that somebody else was like so struck by. And to look at it, you're just like, wow, actually, I do look pretty good. And, that's kind of like how it started, because I wanted essentially, no one to ever feel the way that I felt about my body. And I think that is what really does kind of carry on of like showing people how beautiful they are just as is. I mean, like your background, your experience, everything that you do with your body makes you you. You know, it's not fitting into like this mold that we all want to be look a certain way. And I
Yeah.
think that should be celebrated.